Hi, I'm Vijay Kedia. In today's video, I'm going to share my experience of buying an apartment in Tier 1 city. In my case, it was Hyderabad. So, I'm going to show you how I lost almost 60 lakh over a period of 15 years, which was double of my initial investment. And then what I did to recover almost half of that loss. It will be an eye opener for you. When I was buying that apartment, the apartment prices were almost became 1.5 times in 2 years. So I also purchased that apartment out of FOMO. But after 15 years, I ended up losing money, which I tried to correct through equity investment. So with that, now let's go to that detailed calculation. So I'm also going to show you the investment which I made after selling my house, and then how I recovered most of that loss through equity investment. So I purchased my apartment back in year 2008. It was a two-bedroom apartment. It was 1160 square feet, and the rate was 2500 per SFT. I paid 29 lakh as a base price. Amenities, I paid extra 2 lakhs, which included car parking, electricity connection, and other amenities. Uh, I paid almost 1 lakh for registration and other related cost. And I did just basic interior and some electrical fittings for 1 lakh that time. So that was my total cost. So it came around 33 lakhs in 2008. And for that, I made a down payment of 6 lakhs, and I took a loan for 27 lakhs. My EMI was coming around 28,000 per month. Later on, there was some minor changes in interest rate here and there, but I kept my EMI to this amount. And then I stayed in that house for like 2 years, from 2008 to 2010. And then I moved out of Hyderabad. I gave that house on rent. I started with 11,000 rent, and it went up to 15,000 over the period of 12, 13 years. So I'm taking average rent of 13,000 here to simplify this calculation. People also talk about the tax saving which you get due to the home loan interest, that 1.5 lakh. Earlier, it was even less than that. Still, I'm taking 3,000 per month as the average tax saving. If you take 1.5 lakh exemption, you get 45,000. That comes around less than 4,000 per month. But after 10 years, your interest component will be lesser, and then you will not get that much exemption. So I'm taking average of 3,000 there. And then, uh, though the maintenance for that apartment was paid by the tenant, I had to pay some major expenses, like something got broken, whether inside the apartment or even outside the apartment, pump need to be replaced. So everybody had to pull in that money. And then there were property taxes and things like that. So I'm considering 12,000 per year or 1,000 per month as a maintenance which I paid. So if I calculate my net monthly outgo, it will be 28,000 which I paid. I'll reduce that 13,000 which I was getting from my tenant as a rent. Then I'm also reducing that 3,000 tax benefit, because that was a kind of income for me. And then I'm adding the maintenance which I paid from my side. So my net monthly outgo was 13,000 out of this 28,000, right? So I'm only considering this 13,000 as my net monthly outgo. So now what I'm going to do here is, like, say, instead of paying that 13,000 per month, if I would have invested the 13,000 in mutual fund, see, the rent is already considered. So even if I stayed on rent, that rent is already considered. So I'm considering only the net amount here. So 13,000 per month if I invest, like, for 15 years, because I sold that apartment in 2023. So I held that property for 15 years. So I'm considering 15 years. And then that initial 6 lakhs which I paid while buying that house, that also I'm taking as the initial capital, right? So if you see, if I would have invested that 13,000 instead of paying that EMI every month, and then the initial 6 lakhs which I paid, if that I would have invested in 2008. So over the 15 years at the rate of 12%, which is the CAGR of Nifty for last 15 years. So even if I say purchase Nifty 50 index fund and invested it over there, my final capital would have been more than 1 crore. But here, guess at what price I sold that property. So at that time, when I was looking to sell that property in 2023, the going rate in that area for a similar size apartment, for new apartment, it was around 70 lakhs. They said it's an old apartment, you'll not get the same price as the new apartment. I was expecting at least 55 lakhs, even if I consider 20% depreciation. But even at 20% depreciation, I was not getting any buyers. I was saying, okay, I'm ready to sell this for 52 lakhs. Even then, I didn't get any buyers. So my final price was 50 lakhs, which was almost 30% discount from the new apartment. But some of the buyers, they said I'll pay some amount in cash, some amount through check, and that was not acceptable to me because I wanted a entire amount through check, and that amount I wanted to invest in mutual funds. So I insisted on entire amount through check, and they said for that I need to pay higher registration costs. And so finally we agreed that okay, whatever is the additional registration charges you need to pay on the higher amount, I'll bear that. So buyer said I'm paying 1.5 lakhs as the additional registration charge because I'm showing the purchase price as the 50 lakhs. They said okay, I can pay you 48.5 lakhs through check, which I accepted. So I got 48 lakh 50,000 as the final sale price through check, out of which I had to pay 50,000 as brokerage. And then that time my remaining home loan was around 8 lakhs. So the final amount which I received after paying the remaining home loan and the brokerage was around 40 lakhs. So now you see here, right? So how much amount I lost? More than 60 lakhs. If I would have invested that net amount through mutual funds, my current capital would have been more than 1 crore. But instead of that, I got 40 lakhs, right? So that's a huge loss. It's like not even half of that, right? And then I said, okay, whatever done is done. Now let's see how can I invest this amount to get the better return. What I did was, so that was in 2023 January. I sold my apartment. So I invested that entire amount between January to April last year in mutual fund. So now I'm going to show you how much is the value of that investment right now. That time I didn't had any exposure to quant mutual fund. I wanted to invest some amount in quant, a small cap fund, active fund, and a mid cap fund. If you see here, I invested 10 lakh on 5th of April, and on 30th January itself, I had invested 5 lakhs. So total, I invested 15 lakhs here. Okay, and that 15 lakhs current value is 30 lakh 90,263. So that is the 15 lakh I invested in quant small cap fund. So my total return is more than 100% on this. I'm not suggesting that we'll always get this kind of return, but that time market was low and there was no return in the market since last 1.5 year. I'm talking about between October 21 to January, like March 23. So that time I was confident that now the next bull phase will come. So I got that confidence to invest that entire amount that time. So that 15 lakh became 30 lakh 90,000 here. Then quant active fund I invested again 5 lakh in January, 5 lakh in May, and then that amount is now 16 lakh 93,263. And then quant mid cap also I purchased for 15 lakhs. Here it is showing 23 lakhs because 8 lakh I recently purchased, which I will not consider. So uh, this 5 lakhs, 5 lakhs, and then again 5 lakhs. So 15 lakhs I invested in 23 between January to April. So I'll exclude this 8 lakh which I invested recently. And this 8 lakh, I have 30,000 return. So this 8 lakh 30,000, I'll remove from the total. Current value is 37 lakh 84,941. And I'm going to deduct this 8 lakh 30,000 which I invested recently, because that is not from that sale of house, right? So this 15 lakh, so I invested 40 lakhs, 15 lakh in quant small cap, that 15 lakh is 30 lakh 90,000 now. I invested 10 lakh in quant active fund, that 10 lakh is 16 lakh 93,000 now. And then again, I invested 15 lakh in quant mid cap fund, and that 15 lakh is 29 lakh 54,941 now. Okay. So total 40 lakh, now it has become 77 lakh. So I invested 40 lakhs, so the amount, net amount which I received from sale, and that amount has become 77 lakh 38,464. So that is almost double. Uh, and again, I'm not suggesting it will happen every year, but since that time market was running sideways since last 1.5 years, so I was confident that in next 1 or 2 years, the next leg of rally should come. So based on that confidence, I could invest that entire amount over the period of 3 months. I'm happy that that time I could take that decision, come out of that property, and then I could recover some of the loss which I incurred by investing in that property instead of going for equity. And even if I would have sold that house now, probably I'll get 4 5 lakhs extra. That's all, right? But here there's a difference of 37 lakh, which I got by investing through mutual fund. So this was my experience of investing in real estate, especially the apartments in tier 1 city. And as you saw, I lost almost 2 times of my initial investment, if I compare the return with equities. And how I try to recover that loss through equity investment. So I'm not saying that everybody will get same return on real estate, or you will get similar return on equity which you got in last 1.5 years. But in the long run, one thing is sure, that equity will outperform the real estate. And then due to the compounding effect, over the 15 20 years, you will end up losing money. Hope you found this video useful. If yes, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you are not done already, and do share with your friends and family who can benefit from this video. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.